The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios and the boys basketball game between the Colfax Vikings and the Mondovi Buffaloes. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 9-11 Colfax Vikings, who are 7-5 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, are getting ready to take on the 3-18 Mondovi Buffaloes, who sport a 1-10 record in the Dunn-St Croix. The Vikings want to build on their three-game winning streak following their 64-45 victory over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on Tuesday, while the Buffaloes would like to get some winning under their belt prior to the WIAA regionals beginning in about a week and a half. The Buffaloes game with Boyceville, scheduled for Tuesday, was postponed due to the cold, and the last time they played, they were defeated by the Durand, Arkansas Panthers 66-48 last week on Thursday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Mondovi Buffaloes and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Height's perspective on today's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll take a quick look around the Dunn-St Croix Conference to see where the conference stands. Finally, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's conference game between the Buffaloes and the Vikings. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN2.
My name's Stacy, I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020. One teen can come in and make you look at life in a whole different way.
You know, he's my father, so I look up to him a lot. If I can be 10% of the man he is, I'll be a happy person for sure.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame as we're getting ready to bring you all the action of today's Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup between the Colfax Vikings, who are sitting at 9-11 overall and 7-5 in the conference, and the Mondovi Buffaloes, who are currently riding at 1-10 in the conference play, as well as 3-18 overall. Now, the Vikings are coming into this game following a 64-45 win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on Tuesday night, while the Buffaloes were defeated by the Durand, Arkansas Panthers last week, Thursday, 66-48. Now, in that win over the Hilltoppers, the Vikings played a back-and-forth game until finally taking the lead at 19-18 and never looking back. The Vikings utilized their speed on defense to keep the Hilltoppers off balance and powered their way to the hoop on offense with a strong inside game. Leading the way for the Vikings in that effort was 6-foot senior Aiden Fisher, who scored on 6 field goals, 2 of which were three-pointers, and went 4 for 5 from the free throw line for 18 points.
Out to Fisher. Fisher, three!
He was followed by 6'5" freshman Russell Pekowski, who in the process of scoring his 17 points, hit 6 from the floor, including 1 three-point range shot, as well as going 4 for 4 from the charity stripe.
Starting at about 6:40 for Viking Pregame, Russell Pekowski drains it for 3. Colfax up by 7.
6'6" Logan Schwartz contributed 4 field goals for 8 points.
Fires it into Schwartz. Schwartz reverse layup is good. Colfax takes their first lead at 19-18.
The Mondovi Buffaloes come into tonight's game with a conference record of 1 win and 10 losses. They've been competitive in spite of their record, keeping most of the games close. Now, these two teams met back on February 11th in Colfax, with the Vikings capturing the win 62-52. The Buffaloes are averaging 45 points per game while giving up 57. So far on the season, Mondovi is being led by 6-foot freshman Bodie Faulkner, who's shooting 36% from the floor. hitting as well as 82% from the charity stripe while averaging around 8.5 points per game. He's being followed by 6'1" freshman Bo Spindler, who's contributing 8 points per game. On the board, Spindler is the top rebounder, pulling down around 6.5 rebounds per game. Now, thus far this season, the Vikings are scoring 56 points per game while giving up 61. Leading the way for the Vikings is Aiden Fisher, who's averaging nearly 23 points per game. He's followed by Russell Pekowski, who's scoring nearly 14 points per game, as well as Orion Nichols, who's adding almost 11 points per game. On the boards, Pekowski leads the way, averaging 10 rebounds per game. He's followed by Fisher, who's averaging over 6. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Nick Height on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN2.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today, once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Nick Height. And Coach, today the Vikings are going to be taking on a Dunn-St. Croix conference opponent in the Mondovi Buffaloes. But before we get to that game, back on Tuesday, the Vikings dominated the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 52-38. Your thoughts about that game?
That was getting our stat sheet back last night. That was the best stat sheet I've seen. So that was fun. Obviously defensively, Russell really got Olsen frustrated. I think offensively, this is our third game in a row where our efficiency field goal percentage is over 50%. And third game in a row that our points per possession is over 1. When you can do those things, you're going to be successful. Gave up 3 offensive rebounds, which is the lowest that we've given up all year. We had 25 points off of their turnovers. We had 9 turnovers to their 16. So, a lot of really good things happened for us on Thursday, especially started that second half. They were stuck at 23 points for quite some time and really got Olsen frustrated. Obviously, he got teed up there, and that led to a 4-point possession for us. So really proud of our guys and kind of how we're shaping into kind of the postseason here in a couple weeks.
Now, although the Vikings did have to battle back and forth early in the game, once they took the lead, they never looked back. And there seems to have been an attitude adjustment with the Vikings this season. Talk a little bit about the attitude that the Vikings carry with them that we've seen these past 3 games especially.
I think it's nice to get Logan back and healthy. I think defensively makes a really big difference to have 6'6" and 6'5" to be able to protect the rim. So I think that attitude-wise, defensively makes us a little bit harder to score on. Obviously, rebounding as well. I'd say attitudes-wise, I think offensively we've moved the ball a little bit more. We've gotten a lot of points in the paint. I know we had 36 points in the paint on Tuesday when we went to Glenwood. So those numbers are really nice to see. And we're about the team. One thing that we talked about Wednesday in practice was, Orion had 3 points, and he was probably the happiest guy in the locker room. So that's something that really shows, when you're talking about a team and trying to find success, it's not about what you do individually, but, can we come away with the win, which is the ultimate goal.
There's a guy I never cease to be amazed with, and that's Theo Hovde. There was a time, sometimes it's used as a cliche, he ran circles around the other team. On Tuesday, he literally ran circles around them. He took the ball out on the right side, drove down to the baseline, across the baseline to the left side, back around the top, and then passed it off for someone else to score. But he literally circled the team with his dribbling.
He's just so fast. Theo had a crazy stat line. I mean, he had 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 6 points, 1 turnover.
And he's the smallest guy on the floor.
Right, absolutely. He led our team in rebounding at 5'6". I think his ability to get to the rim is really important for us, especially when he starts to circle around guys. It opens up the middle of the floor, because they do have to help. It was a great way to end the half with an and one. Really got his momentum going into halftime, and then, it showed there to start the second half. Defensively, he held Harrington to 4 points kind of in garbage time. I think he was 2 of 6 from the field. So from a kid who had 20 plus against Elk Mound the game before.
Now tonight, the Vikings are going to take on the Elk Mound Mounders. That's a team that the Vikings defeated 62-52, and that was only a week and a half ago. What can you tell us that might be a little different this time around about the Buffaloes?
Well, like I said, Mondovi's gotten a lot better. They're really young, but they're physical. They're going to play that pack line defense that gave us fits. We can't turn the ball over 21 times. That's just something that we've preached, within practice this week. Just valuing the basketball is really important. When we look at the stat line the first time we played, 2/3 of their points came off of our turnovers and second chance points. So really important that we just rebound the ball, take care of the basketball. Obviously, don't try to do too much on our drives with their pack line defense. And I think we can hopefully come away with one on Friday or tonight.
Now, this time around, you're going to be at their place, and the Buffaloes have not been a pushover for anybody this season. The Buffaloes, especially their head coach, Sarah Brenner, who graduated from Colfax and played for the Viking ladies, would really like to push that score over the top and pick up another conference win. How much of a trap game could this be?
Well, I've preached to the boys a lot. They're not a slouch team. They're better than what their record is. Mondovi's a tough place to go and play. Kind of an awkward gym. It's weird lighting. We got to be ready to go. And I think we've had a good week of practice and preparation. They're going to be coming off of a back-to-back playing Boyceville last night. But one game at a time. 2 weeks ago, after we lost to Elk Mound, kind of going into Mondovi the first time in EPC, we talked about one game at a time. That this was a very important 4-game stretch if we want to finish where we want to finish in the league. So we've taken it one game at a time. We're 3-0 in that stretch. But tonight we got to get one more.
Well, Coach, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully the Vikings can keep polishing their game for those upcoming WIAA regionals.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rick.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Dunn-St. Croix Conference had a full slate of conference play scheduled for Tuesday. However, the bitter cold caused postponement of the games between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Mondovi Buffaloes, as well as the Durand, Arkansas Panthers and the Spring Valley Cardinals. There were 2 games played. There we found the Colfax Vikings defeating the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 64-45, while the Elk Mound Mounders topped the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 75-55. Now, following Tuesday's action, the Dunn-St. Croix Conference standings were as follows. On top of the conference is still a tie between the Durand, Arkansas Panthers and the Spring Valley Cardinals. Both teams have records of 10-1, while the Elk Mound Mounders, posting a 9-3 record, are in third place and 1.5 games out of first. Fourth place sees the Vikings at 7-5, 3.5 games back, while the Glenwood City Hilltoppers at 5-7 sit in fifth place. Then in sixth place, we find the 2-9 Boyceville Bulldogs, with the 2-10 Elmwood Plum City Wolves sitting in seventh, and eighth place belongs to the 1-10 Mondovi Buffaloes. Tonight, the Dunn-St. Croix Conference does have a full slate of games, including the Mondovi Buffaloes hosting the Colfax Vikings, while the Boyceville Bulldogs will visit the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. In addition, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers will welcome the Elk Mound Mounders, and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves will journey to Spring Valley to face the Cardinals. Now, today, the Vikings have the opportunity to build on their current 3-game winning streak and continue to push for the number 3 spot in the Dunn-St. Croix. The Vikings will need to be ready to play hard from the start and bring the energy for the entire 36 minutes if they wish to accomplish those goals. So the stage is set for some exciting high school boys basketball, with the Colfax Vikings facing the Mondovi Buffaloes. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to Mondovi High School, where our broadcast crew is ready to bring you all the action of today's game. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN 2.
My dad was a farmer. The guy was bigger than life. He wasn't someone that liked to show his emotion or liked to show when he was struggling, but we all struggle. I want to show emotion to my kids. It's something that brings me so much joy, and I want them to see me working through things. Allow your kids to know that it's okay to struggle, that even dad doesn't know the answer sometimes, but we're going to figure it out together.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking Boys Basketball is on the air.
Takes it to the top of the key, puts up the shot, he hit it! Fisher hits
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN2, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Boys Basketball.
Around, feeds it underneath Orion Nichols, and he put it up and in.
Yeah, great fight.
Vikings back on top.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn-St. Croix Conference.
And they get it to Charbonneau, back to Larson, three-pointer, he hit it! Trey Larson hit the three.
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Good evening and welcome to Mondovi High School for tonight's Dunn-St. Croix Conference boys matchup, the second meeting of the season between the Mondovi Buffaloes and the Colfax Vikings. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Sladen's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical with quality personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley, and Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors. by doing business with them soon. They bring you Colfax Viking Basketball here on NLWN2. Saw an exciting JV game that
what's that?
Crowd mic's too loud.
Okay.
So we saw an exciting JV game coming into this one. The score was 49-47 Mondovi, and they came from behind. A 3-pointer with 12 seconds to go put them ahead to stay. The Colfax Vikings are 7-5 in the Dunn-St. Croix. They are in 4th place with a 9-11 overall season record. The Mondovi Buffaloes are 1-11, 8th place in the league, and they are 3-19. We'll be back with more of our pregame in a minute. You're watching NLWN2.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
So the Vikings girls game at Prescott against the Cardinals scheduled for tomorrow has been canceled. So the next Viking action will be next Friday in the WIAA regional semifinals against the winner between the Cumberland Beavers and the Clear Lake Warriors. At this time, we're not planning on carrying that game on NLWN TV. The boys will have a non-conference game on Monday night here on NLWN2. They will travel to Fall Creek to take on the Fall Creek Crickets. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action on NLWN2. Other games tonight being played in the Dunn-St. Croix. Boyceville is at Durand, Arkansas tonight. Plum City Elmwood is at Spring Valley, and Elk Mound is at Glenwood City tonight. The Buffaloes' last win was a 51-46 win over Plum City Elmwood back on January 30th. Since then, they've dropped games to Glenwood City, Spring Valley, Baldwin, Woodville. The Colfax Vikings on the 11th by 10 in Colfax, and February 13th, Durand, Arkansas, and last night by 10 points to Boyceville. Vikings are coming in riding a 3-game winning streak, beating Glenwood City Tuesday night, 64-45. Elmwood, Plum City, and Mondovi in that game we mentioned. That was just about a week and a half ago. The Vikings also defeated the Boyceville Bulldogs for the second time this season by a 66-49 margin on January 30th, and then ended up dropping games to the Spring Valley Cardinals and the Elk Mound Mounders. We'll be back to take a look at some of the leading stats for both teams tonight. You're watching Colfax High School Boys Basketball on NLWN2.
To get your lawn or garden to perform in attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving western Wisconsin.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Welcome back. Leading scorer for the Mondovi Buffaloes is Bodie Faulkner. He's got 168 points on the season. That's an 8.4 per game average. Bo Spindler is averaging 8 points a game with 161 points total. Blake Williamson has 149, 7.4 points a game. Then Griffin Rudd with 134 points at 6.7 a game. Caden Deaton, 6.6, 132 points. And the rest fall down after that. Faulkner also happens to be the leading three-point shooter for the Buffaloes. Leading rebounder is Spindler, 6.6 a game, followed by Faulkner, 4.9 a game, and Caden Deaton with 4 a game. Colfax Vikings, as they come into this one, Aiden Fisher leading 447 points, that's 22.4 points a game. Russell Polkowski with 269, 13.4 points a game. Orion Nichols, 222, or 11.1 points a game. Vikings leading rebounder is Russell Polkowski. He's got 182 rebounds, that's 9.1 per game. Aiden Fisher's next with 112, followed by Orion Nichols with 98. Let's go courtside.
5'11" junior, number 10, Brian Nichols. 5'10" junior, number 12, Charlie Sharman. And 6'5" freshman, number 30, Russell Kapowski. The Vikings are coached by Kristen Gilson and now for your lineup for the Mondovi Buffaloes. 5'6" freshman, number 1, Griffin Rudd. 5'10" sophomore, number 20, Blake Williamson. 6'1" freshman, number 21, Bo Spindler. 6' senior, number 42, Caden Deeden. And 6'3" senior, number 55, Kevin Dominguez.
So the Colfax Vikings in road red, and Polkowski tips it to Hubdy, and we're underway. Hubdy trying to get it over to Nichols. Nichols back to Hubdy down in the corner to inside to Polkowski, and the Vikings are on the board.
Shot up by Nichols for Colfax.
Driving in for the Buffaloes, Bo Spindler to Deeden, inside to Dominguez Garalo. And we'll have our first foul for the Vikings. That is on Polkowski. First free throw, off the back iron, no good. Vikings lead 2-0, 17-15 to go in the first half. Second one rolls out as well. Nice rebound by Aiden Fisher. Vikings will pull it down to the other end. They're moving right to left, of course, as we look on here. And a three-pointer time. Good for Charlie Charbonneau. 5-0 Vikings. 17 minutes to go in the first half. Off in the right, he goes to Deeden. Deeden to Dominguez Guerrero. Out to Rudd. Back inside is Spindler, trying to move in the lane, blocked, goes to Dominguez. And shot blocked by Polkowski, goes out of bounds. That was a shot attempt by Caden Deeden. And so inbounds, throwing it in will be Bodie Faulkner into Rudd. Back to Faulkner from the corner. Spindler looking at one is Bauer. Williamson. Out to Spindler. And it's tipped by Nichols, and it goes back to the Vikings. Down in the far corner, and Hubdy tried to get it down to Charbonneau and wasn't quite where he expected him to be. 5-0 Vikings, 16-10 to go, first half. Pass goes down to Williamson, front of the Colfax bench. Flips it high to Deeden. Deeden to Rudd. Williamson, top of the key, no good. Rebounded by Nichols. Colfax clears it out, takes it to the other end. It's Theo Hubdy. Off to Charbonneau, driving in, one-on-one, stolen by Griffin Rudd. Rudd taking it to the other end, bounce pass to Bodie Faulkner. He'll toss it back out to Spindler, and Spindler will put it in for a bucket. For Mondovi's first score, 5-2 Colfax, 15-22. Down to the other end to Charbonneau for the Vikings, to Fisher. Fisher drives out to Hovde. Hovde, three ball, bangs around out, rebound, Polkowski. Going to try to make a move on their big man. Can't get to that, and rebounded by the Buffaloes. Down inside, Rudd. Spindler, top of the key. Three-pointer, good. Drained by Caden Deaton. Hovde fires off to the right to Polkowski. Polkowski up from 10, falling down. And we're going to have a player control foul called on Russell Polkowski. We're tied at 5.
That's quick two on Russ.
Off on the left side to Deaton. Throws it out on top, and we're going to have over and back. He bounced it right on the half-court line. 14:20 to go. First half tied at 5. Colfax and Mondovi. Nichols will throw it in. Nichols to Fisher. Fisher driving in on the baseline. Is going to get the bucket. Well, I guess they're going to give him 2 free throw. Well, let's see. Now it's on there. 7-5 Colfax. And it's now 8-5 as he finishes off the three-point play. Rudd down to Williamson, back to Rudd. Opposite side, Faulkner. Into Williamson. Spindler driving it on the baseline, goes out to Deaton, takes a shot, missed, big rebound, Bodie Faulkner. He puts in the basket and is fouled on the way in. That is going to go against Theo Hovde. That is his first foul and Colfax's third. So Bodie Faulkner on the free throw line for the free throw. Bangs around and out, and it's rebounded by Schwartz. Hovde up the floor to Fisher. Fisher driving in from the sideline, up from the corner of the lane, missed. Hovde tried to tap it back out there. It's going to be rebounded by Faulkner. Faulkner, he goes up, and we're going to have a blocking foul on Ryan Nichols. That's his first and the fourth foul for Colfax, just like that. So Bodie Faulkner's going to shoot 2. The Buffaloes with a 1-point deficit. It's now even. Buffaloes just have 1 foul called on them. Colfax Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Hovde to Charbonneau, back out to Fisher. Fisher, three-pointer missed, and trying to get it was Nichols, but heading out of bounds for it was Griffin Rudd. He was the last one to touch it, so it's going back to Nichols. Nichols to Fisher in the corner. Fisher up from 10. No, rebounded by the Buffaloes, Deedon. Deedon to Faulkner. Faulkner to Spindler. Up to Deedon on top. And a nice steal by Orion Nichols. Driving, taking it himself. Rudd's going to try to get his hand on it. And he'll go up and put it in. Nichols fighting all kinds of traffic. Makes the bucket, and it's 10-9 Colfax. Over on the far side, Williamson from the free throw line. There we go. Hovde with a rebound, out to Fisher. And it's out to Charlie Charbonneau. And we're going to have a pushing foul. That is going to be charged to Blake Williamson, and that is his second for the Buffaloes. He's got both of Mondovi's fouls here in the first half. Nichols to inbound for the Vikings. Finds Fisher. Fisher looking underneath, fires over to Charbonneau. Charbonneau banged around in there by Brenner. Back out to Hovde. Charbonneau to Fisher. Fisher driving in, up. Shot missed, rebounded Caden Deedon. Stolen away by Nichols. They're going to say he traveled. $11:47 to go in the first. It's Colfax 10, Mondovi 9. No Viking girls game tomorrow at Prescott. Next Viking action is in the regional semifinals next Friday. At this time, we're not planning to cover that game on NLWN TV. Back out on the left side, Brenner. Brenner out to Rudd. Rudd to Deedon. Deedon takes one from 20, bounces off big, getting the rebound. Mason Brenner back down underneath to Bo Spindler, who puts it in. Mondovi 11, Colfax 10. 11:15 left first half. And the pass stolen by the Buffaloes, Bo Spindler. He gets it to Bodie Faulkner. Faulkner with a layup. And Mondovi has a 3-point lead. Hovde out of the backcourt. Driving left, moving right in the lane. Gets it out to Nichols, to Fisher, to Charbonneau. Three-pointer falls short. Rebounded by Bodie Faulkner of Mondovi. Faulkner to Spindler. Spindler, big shot from 3, misses the rim. Colfax gets it back. Fisher there to pick up the rebound. To Hovde. Fisher gets it back now. And we're going to have a foul called on Mondovi's Bo Spindler. He's a freshman. And that's the third foul for the Buffaloes. Pass goes into Hovde. Hovde drives right side, fires in the corner. Fisher for 3, no, rebound Hovde. And Hovde is fouled as he goes for that rebound. So it's going to go out underneath. That foul is going to be charged to Bodie Faulkner. Into Fisher. Puts it up, short. Shots are just a little off for Colfax here as we start off. Brenner looking underneath, fires cross court to Rudd. Three-pointer missed, rebounded by Ryan Nichols of the Vikings. Quick pass down the floor to Fisher, knocking it out of bounds, Bo Spindler of Mondovi. Inside 10 minutes to go, first half. Vikings trail by 3. Into Charbonneau. Charbonneau out to Hubdy. Ball gets loose, picked up by Mondovi, driving toward the bucket. Faulkner fires it to Knitzer. And he is fouled on the way in. That one is going to be charged to Logan Schwartz. That's his first. And he was shooting, so Degon Knitzer will shoot free throws. First one is good. 14-10. Mondovi. Annual FFA Toy Show is on Sunday, February 23rd at Colfax High. It's an all-day event, so stop by and check out all the agricultural toys. And the second free throw good as well. Mondovi with a 5-point lead over Colfax. Hubney and Nichols bringing it up. Hubney drives to the corner on the baseline. His pass is blocked by Brenner. Fired up the floor to Bo Spindler. Spindler on the baseline, and Ryan Nichols ends up with it. Hubney off on the right side. Hubney to Fisher. Fisher, fairly clear shot to the basket. Shot bounces out. Tipped, rebounded by Bo Spindler. Now Fisher gets it back. It's going to go up again off the glass, falling down. Still doesn't go in. Down to the other end. Konitzer's shot just hits the net, goes out of bounds. And it looks like we have a technical foul on the floor. And that looks, it's going to go against Fisher. So Bodie Faulkner's going to the free throw line. And one of the officials is still over at the scorer's table talking about how this is going to be done here. Let's see. Now they have 24 on the scoreboard, and Grant Palowitz hasn't been in yet. Okay. And the first free throw by Faulkner missed.
He's 2 for 4 from the line yet tonight.
And Faulkner makes the second of 2. So Mondovi is up by 6 over the Colfax Vikings. Inside 9 minutes to go. A reminder, there's no school at the Colfax schools on Monday. School will resume Tuesday, February 25th. Bodie Faulkner out to Griffin Rudd. To Konitzer down in the far corner to Faulkner. Back to Konitzer. Spindler. Back to Faulkner. Hubney guarding him. Backs off, fires it over to Brenner. Brenner outside the arch to Konitzer. And an air ball caught by Russell Polkowski. Bounce pass down to Nichols in the far corner. Nichols going up. Bounces around, no. Rebounded by Griffin Rudd. Rudd to Spindler. Spindler out to Konitzer. Back to Brenner at half court. or near half court, just outside the circle. They're just holding on to it. Now I'll flip it out to Konitzer, back and forth to Brenner, out to Bodie Faulkner, outside to Brenner. Brenner to Konitzer, and ball ripped away by Orion Nichols. No jump ball here. Trey Larson now in there, driving in Nichols. Nichols goes back out on top. Trey for Trey, no! Polkowski with a rebound. Polkowski down to Hovde. Back inside, Nichols driving up in, good! A lot of effort for that one, but a bucket. 7 minutes to go, Mondovi up by 4. Ball fired to Rudd. Konitzer up on top. Then to Spindler. Spindler goes up. And Nichols tries to block the shot, but it goes through anyway. 18-12 Mondovi. 6:40 remaining. Hovde fires off to Larson. Polkowski called for a travel. And Bo Spindler throws it into Bodie Faulkner. Buffaloes will set it up again. Both teams running man-to-man. Inside it goes to Deaton. Deaton to Spindler out on top. Drives in, fires off to Brenner. To Faulkner, over to Deaton. Rudd. Spindler inside, tipped by Nichols. Rebound Colfax, or steal by Colfax. Trey Larson, three-pointer, catches the back iron, no. And Rudd comes up with a rebound for Mondovi. Rudd to Deaton. Deaton driving in on Schwartz. Out to Rudd. Back on top to Spindler. Spindler drives in. Both big men shut him off. Deaton makes a move. Now Rudd for three. Bounces off. Rebounded. That one doesn't go. Rebound by Logan Schwartz. Up the floor to Trey Larson. Larson back in the corner. And a skirmish for the ball. They get it down to the other end to Spindler. Spindler down to blocked by Polkowski. Faulkner's shot. Back to the Vikings. 18-12. Mondovi leading Colfax as we approach 5 minutes left in the half. Theo Hovde out to Trey Larson. Larson from the corner bounces it into Schwartz. Schwartz fall away. 5-footer no. Rebounded by Mason Brenner. Up the floor it goes to Deaton. Deaton, 12-footer, bounces off. Orion Nichols there for the rebound. And Hovde to bring it up the floor for the Vikings. Out to Trey Larson, takes a three ball, good! Colfax pulls to within 3. It's Mondovi 18, Colfax 15. Timeout Mondovi. You're watching Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
Welcome back. Our profile player at halftime is Aiden Fisher. We invite you to stay tuned for that. 4:33 left first half. 18-15 Mondovi leading Colfax. The Viking girls will not play at Prescott tomorrow. Their next action will be in the tournament, and at this time we're not planning on carrying that tournament game on NLWN TV. Off on the right side, Griffin Rudd with the ball. Rudd being guarded by Larson. Rudd makes a move, passes over to Brenner. Brenner stopped at the free throw line. Out to Spindler. Spindler out to Deeden. Deeden tries a layup, doesn't go. Schwartz on the floor, gets up fine, and the Vikings bring it up. Across the center, jump circle, Hovde to Larson. Bounces it in, tries to get it to Polkowski. Stolen in the corner by Mondovi's Spindler. Down to Bodie Faulkner. Faulkner back out to Spindler. Spindler misses the bucket, rebounded Polkowski. And Polkowski is fouled by Caden Deeden. That's the first foul on Caden Deeden. Each team has 6 fouls, so the next foul for either team puts the other in the 1+1 bonus. 3:40 left in the first half. Hovde out to Polkowski. And ball gets knocked out of bounds off Mondovi. And Sarah Brenner coaching right to her players, right in there.
Can't get it closer than that.
No. Theo Hovde ends up with the ball up top. Hovde out to Nichols. Nichols from the corner over the top. Ball loose. Schwartz goes up, knocked down by Bodie Faulkner. Rudd open, layup good. 20-15 Mondovi. Approaching 3 minutes left in the first half. Hovde driving all the way underneath the basket. Then back out on top, going in again, out to Polkowski. Polkowski driving in. Ball stolen away from him by Konitzer. To Faulkner. Brenner. Up to Faulkner. Down to Spindler. Spindler. Driving in.
Big foul there.
Yep, Trey Larson.
Oh, Trey Larson.
Yep.
I thought it was on Russ because he was right with him.
Yep. So that is a shooting, well, let's see, 1.1 or 1+1. Yep. Polkowski with a rebound. 2:22 left, first half. Give and go, Hovde to Polkowski. Polkowski from the free throw line, no good. Rebounded Schwartz trying to get it. And almost a skirmish for it there, and they're going to say Schwartz touched it last. Going back to the Buffaloes. Mondovi 20, Colfax 15. Trey Larson, or check that, top of the key, that's Rudd, in and out. Rebound by Nichols. Nichols to Hovde. Hovde left side, Larson for three, good! Colfax pulls to within 2, 1:40 left to go in the first. Off on the right side, Rudd. Rudd to Brenner. And that foul is going to be charged to Orion Nichols. That's his second. Puts Mason Brenner on the line for 1+1. Minute and a half to go, first half. Mondovi 20, Colfax 18. First shot, good. Boys in action again Monday at Fall Creek. Second one goes in. Viking boys. Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play Monday night on NLWN 2. Schwartz holding, gets it to Trey Larson. Larson, three-pointer missed. Trying to get the rebound was Logan Schwartz. And he was fouled on the way up. That's going to be called on Bo Spindler. That's his second. And So now Logan Schwartz will shoot 1+1. Minute 16 left in the first half. Shot missed. Spindler, layup, missed. Rebounded by Nichols to Hovde, up the floor to Trey Larson. Larson going to drive the baseline, pop it up and in. Inside a minute to go, and Colfax pulls to within 2.
8 points for Trey Larson.
Bodie Faulkner, Hovde guarding him, slaps the ball away, but it goes back to Spindler. Spindler outside on Polkowski, out to Brenner. Brenner being guarded by Nichols, out to Spindler in the corner to Rudd. Rudd drives in, nearly tangled up at the free throw line. He's got to get rid of it back to Spindler. Back to Brenner, 20 seconds remain. Out to Konitzer from the corner, air ball, goes out of bounds, going back to Colfax. Down by 2, 12 seconds to go in the first half. Hovde out of the backcourt, guarded by Faulkner. Hovde out to Polkowski, or check that, that's Nichols. Three-pointer miss, a lot of people tapping the ball. Polkowski with a steal, up on the buzzer, no good at the end of the first half. It's Mondovi 22, Colfax 20. We invite you now to stay tuned for halftime programming here on NLWN 2. Our profile player tonight is Aiden Fisher. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Aiden Fisher. And Aiden, what year are you here at Colfax?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. You're almost done.
Almost done.
Okay. Now, we know that you play basketball, but what other activities are you involved with here at school?
Nothing at school, just basketball.
Just basketball. Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience have you had?
I'd say I started playing in 3rd grade. It's been a good experience, been able to hang out with friends and get to know each other outside of the sport too.
So what is the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Teammates, just getting along with other people.
And making it work together?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I like to hunt, I like to fish, snowmobile, and ride 4-wheeler.
All right, here come those rapid fire questions. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Pie.
Which kind?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie. Do you like it with the whipped cream or without?
Without.
Without. That's interesting, because some people say that pumpkin pie is just an excuse for eating whipped cream.
It's a good idea.
All right, burger, brats, or hot dogs?
Burger.
And what do you want on that burger?
Bacon and cheese.
Bacon and cheese. That's a good combination. Favorite color and why?
Orange. Don't know why, just always have.
Well, good thing that during deer season you have to wear it, right?
Yeah, I gotta wear it.
Okay. Now, if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Probably to fly.
Okay, and why would you want to be able to fly?
I don't know, be able to see everything.
Okay, yeah, all right. Now, if you had that superpower of being able to fly, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So, what's Aiden's superhero name?
Let's go with Flying Fish.
Flying Fish. I like that idea. Yes, Aiden Fisher. Yeah, okay. Favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
And your favorite collegiate team?
Badgers.
Now, if you could sit down and pick the brain of a sports personality from any time in history and any sport, who would it be and why?
Gotta go with Steve Kerr.
Okay, and what makes you want to talk with Steve Kerr?
Just his understanding of the game, I'm really intrigued on. He's learned this game forever, so I just would be curious on how much he really knows.
We're talking with Aiden Fisher today on Viking Profile. And Aiden, what are your plans for after high school?
Going to the Tech for something medical is the plan.
Okay, all right. How about a shout out to the family?
Shout out Dad, Mom, sister, Grandma, Grandpa, and Jordan.
All right, now when people come to Viking games and they want to see Aiden Fisher on the floor, where should they be looking?
Anywhere. I'll be somewhere. You'll see me out there.
You'll be all over the floor.
Yep, that's the plan.
All right, we want to thank Aiden Fisher for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. What? My. Oh. No, you can't.
Kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy told him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate
Coming out of halftime in Mondovi, the Mondovi Buffaloes lead the Colfax Vikings by a score of 22-20. Dan, let's look at the details.
Yeah, here's scores right now for the Mondovi Buffaloes. They have a bunch of boys with points. Griffinwood has 2. Bodie Faulkner has 7. Deegan Knetzer has 2. We got Bo Spindler with 6. We got Mason Brenner with 2. And Keaton Deaton has 3. For the Vikings right now, their leader is number 3, Trey Larson. He has 8 points. Ryan Nichols has 6. Aiden Fisher has 3. And Charlie Charbonneau has 3. 22-20, Mondovi leads.
Both teams back on the floor. We'll get started in just a little bit here. Join us Monday on NLWN 2 as we bring you Colfax High School Boys Basketball. Vikings will travel to Fall Creek to take on the Fall Creek Crickets in a non-conference matchup. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action on NLWN 2. The Viking girls game at Prescott against the Cardinals, scheduled for tomorrow, has been canceled. The next Viking action will be next Friday in the WIA regional semifinals against the winner of the Cumberland Beavers Clear Lake Warriors game. At this time, NLWN TV not planning on carrying that game yet. 49-47 was the JV score in favor of the Mondovi Buffaloes. 3-point basket, 12 seconds to go, turned the tide on that one. Buff start with the ball, inbounds to Faulkner. Charbonneau out on top to guard him. They give it to Spindler. Spindler up to the free throw line, missed. Rebounded by Polkowski. Polkowski to Hovde. And already seeing a little more ball protection by the Vikings. Hovde firing it in to Nichols. Nichols into Hovde. Hovde, layup, good. We're tied at 22. 17:20 to go, second half. Buffs with the ball, Faulkner. Faulkner out to Deaton, and he took a step before he threw it. Vikings get it back on the traveling violation. And we have Nichols to Hovde. Polkowski to Fisher. Back to Hovde as it's passed to Nichols. Nichols drives in, tries to go up, 2 big men stopping him. In the corner it goes to Charbonneau. He'll bring it out, scoop pass it to Fisher. Fisher out to Polkowski for 3, no, rebounded by Caden Deaton. Faulkner driving in, puts it up on the right side, and manages to draw a foul. That's going to be on Charlie Charbonneau. That's the first foul of the half, and his first foul of the game. Shooting, Bodie Faulkner for Mondovi. Tied at 22. Still tied at 22. 16:37 to go, second half. Faulkner looking skyward, breaks the tie with his second of the second free throw. 23-22 Mondovi. Hovde across the jump circle to Fisher, one-handed pass, gets it into Polkowski, makes a move, good. Colfax by 1, 24-23. Faulkner fires off to his right to Williamson. Spindler's in the far corner with it, flips it back on top to Deedon. Deedon to Williamson. Out to Rudd, back to Deedon. Deedon makes a move, and we're going to have a foul. That's on Theo Hovde, his second. And it seemed like there was a lot of progress toward the basket without dribbling the ball there, but that's just me. First free throw, good.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was there. I was looking at Russell Prokowski.
And the second one good as well. It's 25-24. Mondovi inside 16 minutes to go. Hovde bringing it up the floor, fires to Polkowski. Polkowski goes in, up from 10, good. Colfax leads. 26-25, Buffaloes. Faulkner to Rudd to Spindler. Out to Deedon. Back down to Rudd in the corner. He takes a three-point shot, missed, rebounded Aiden Fisher. Hovde outside the center jump circle. Aiden Fisher driving in. He puts in the basket and is fouled on the way in.
Yeah, good strong move there by Aiden Fisher. Two guys dragging on him, and he still scores.
So Colfax is up by 3 now. It's 28-25, 15-14 to go, second half. And he will get one free throw since he made the bucket. Free throw no good, rebounded by Caden Deedon. Faulkner on Charbonneau, back to Deedon. Deedon to Hayden Reichel now in the ball game for Mondovi. Up to Blake Williamson. Feed to Spindler, nice block, Polkowski, but back out on top to Faulkner. Faulkner driving the lane, tripled up by the Vikings, gets it back to Spindler. Going up, missed, rebounded Charbonneau. And driving in, Fisher. And he is fouled on the way in by Williamson. And timeout called by Mondovi. 14:33 remaining. Second half, Colfax 28, Mondovi 25. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN2.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
Welcome back. Colfax 28, Mondovi 25. Ryan Nichols is going to throw it inbounds. Underneath the Colfax basket. Looking. Bounces it inside to Fisher. Fisher goes up. Shot does not go. Orion Nichols with a rebound. Fisher trying to force it up. And Bodie Faulkner ends up down the floor. Faulkner to Brenner. Spindler to Reichel. Back out on top, Deedon. Deedon going in, took a step.
Yeah, good defense there by Colfax. Mondovi wants to go inside and just nothing there right now.
14 minutes to go, second half. Colfax up by 3, 28-25. Hovde to Polkowski, into Fisher. Fisher up off the glass, won't go. Rebounded by Rudd. Rudd looking down the floor, fires off in the corner to Hayden Reichel. Leaves it out there for Brenner, then back to Bodie Faulkner. Spindler driving left side of the lane. Nichols guarding him. Fisher out on Brenner. Back to Spindler. Brenner down inside. Hovde trying to knock it away from Hayden Reichel. Spindler off to the left to Faulkner. Back out on top, Spindler. They're going to keep it off on that left side. Now move it off to the other side. Rudd. Rudd out to Faulkner. Faulkner up, 10-footer, missed. Rebounded, Brenner, and put back by Bodie Faulkner. Cuts Colfax's lead down to 1. It's 28-27 Vikings, 12:40 left in the second half. Pass goes into Nichols. Nichols waits, goes inside. Hovde layup on the baseline, good.
4 points for Theo Hovde.
Colfax by 3. Bodie Faulkner out to Reichel. Reichel trying to feed Rudd. And traveling on Reichel.
Yeah, it's not going to get any attention, but the battle between Reichel and Hovde in that series was really good. Kind of size difference, and Hovde kind of took advantage.
Hovde bringing it up now. He'll to Aiden Fisher. Fisher makes a move, layup, falling to the floor again, doesn't go. Going up the floor, it's Williamson driving in. Rudd is fouled on the way in by Charlie Charbonneau and gets a free throw. We are now Colfax still has a 1-point lead. Rudd with a chance to tie it here, and he does. Back all knotted up inside 12 minutes to go, 30-30.
5 points for Griffin Rudd.
Reminder, there's no school in the Colfax schools on Monday. School resumes Tuesday, February 25th. Driving in, Trey Larson. Stop, bounces it to Nichols. Nichols looks at one from 3 land. It's knocked down by Brenner. He's going to go in with it and put it up and in.
8 points for Ryan Nichols.
Vikings by 2 now. Hovde trying to tie the ball up. Scuffle for it, and Colfax comes up with it. Hovde across the timeline. Hovde into Larson. Larson waits off the glass. Good. Colfax by 4.
Yeah, 10 points for Trey Larson tonight.
Brenner down in the corner to Rudd. Rudd misses. Ball goes out of bounds off Mondovi's Blake Williamson, going back to the Vikings. 11 minutes left. Second half. Vikings by 4. Hovde to Fisher, into Polkowski. Polkowski up off the glass, doesn't go. Rebounded, Bo Spindler. Spindler to Faulkner. Faulkner up from 8 on the baseline, and looks like we're going to have another foul charged to Theo Hovde. That is his 3rd. And that puts Bodie Faulkner on the free throw line for Mondovi for 2. First free throw up and good. The Viking girls game at Prescott tomorrow, scheduled against the Cardinals, canceled. Next Viking action will be next Friday in the regional semifinals. At this time, we're not planning on carrying that game on NLWN TV.
12 points for Faulkner.
Colfax leads by 2 over Mondovi. Trey Larson caught inside, gives it to Hubdy. Hubdy goes up, takes a shot that goes up over the backboard, but he was taking a shot, so he's going to get a couple of free throws. That foul charge to Mason Brenner. That's his second, Mondovi's third of the second half. First, no good. Rolls out. 10:29 left second half. Colfax 34, Mondovi 32. Hubdy makes the second of the two, and it's a 3-point Colfax lead. Faulkner up the floor for the Buffs, goes to Rudd with a pass. Rudd loses the ball on the dribble. Now it's taken away by Nichols, given to Polkowski. Polkowski traveled. So the Buffaloes get it back. Spindler to throw it in. He'll toss it in to Faulkner. Hubdy guarding him, gets the pass to Brenner. Brenner, top of the key. Rebounded by Faulkner. Faulkner trying to go up. Now it's to Spindler, to Rudd, out to Williamson. Coming in from the corner and then backing out is Faulkner. Hubdy guarding him. Out on top to Spindler. To Faulkner. Loses his dribble. Gets a pass to Spindler, out to Deedon. Or check that, that's Brenner. To Spindler, out to Rudd. Mondovi bottled up by Colfax pretty big. Inside they go to Mason Brenner. Outside to Rudd. Rudd's going to go in, out to Spindler. Turn around in the lane, out on the right side. Blocked by Ryan Nichols. Pass goes out to Spindler.
Yeah, we're going to follow number 4 for Colfax.
And that is Aiden Fisher's second foul. So he will take a break. Bodie Faulkner is going to throw it in. Into Williamson. And Hubdy zips over to guard Faulkner. Rudd. Back to Faulkner to Williamson. Out to Brenner, to Spindler. Spindler to the free throw line. Rolls it over to Faulkner. Faulkner bounces it to Brenner. Back to Spindler. And Mondovi taking a lot of time again.
Yeah, they're trying to get it in Faulkner's hand.
Out to Faulkner, near corner. Over to Brenner. Driving in from the corner, Williamson. And he dribbled the ball on the end line.
Yeah, good defense by Colfax. Run on for about a minute and a half and denied everything.
Hubdy out to Larson. Larson rolls it to Nichols. Nichols goes up. And we're going to have a foul called on Mondovi's Blake Williamson.
I have 5 or 4 for him. Yep.
So Ryan Nichols is going to shoot for the Vikings inside 8 minutes to go. Vikings up by 3, still up by 3. First free throw falls short. Annual FFA Toy Show will be held on Sunday at Colfax High School. This is an all-day event, so stop by and check out all the agricultural toys. Second free throw doesn't go either, and Caden Deeden comes up with a rebound. Faulkner up the floor for Mondovi. Faulkner out to Spindler. Deeden. Guarded by Schwartz. Goes over to Brenner. And back in the middle to Spindler down in the near corner. Brenner. Deeden looks at one. He'll fire it over to Brenner. They get it in. Griffin Rudd ends up with it off of Bo Spindler. Now Deeden will drive in, pass it out on top to Spindler. Out to Faulkner. Faulkner doubled up on, goes up over Fisher. Ball tipped, rebounded Polkowski. Inside 7 minutes left. Fisher give and go, it is Nichols. Three-pointer bounces off, rebounded by Rudd of the Buffaloes. Rudd to Brenner, over to Deeden. Shot missed, fires over to Faulkner. Polkowski comes up with a loose ball. Over to Nichols. And we'll have a foul charge to Griffin Rudd. That is his first foul of the game. 5 fouls apiece as far as the team goes, and we have a full timeout on the floor called by Colfax. 6:31 remaining second half. Colfax 35, Mondovi 32. You're watching Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
The Viking girls game at Prescott against the Cardinals scheduled for tomorrow has been canceled. The next Viking action will be next Friday in the WIA regional semifinals against the winner between the Cumberland Beavers and the Clear Lake Warriors. At this time, we are not planning on carrying that game on NLWN TV. Bounce pass in to Theo Hovde. Hovde moving on Cannon Bauer. Back to Nichols. Nichols looking underneath. He's going to drive. Doubled up. They're all over him. Hovde gets the pass and the basket.
7 points for Theo Hovde.
Colfax up by 5, 37-32 as we approach 6 minutes remaining. Deeden over to Rudd, has to save it from going out of bounds. Rudd driving in, tipped by Hovde. Polkowski with the ball. Puts it up from 10, good, or 8. 39-32, Colfax.
Polkowski has 6 points.
5:38 remaining. Deeden on top to Spindler. Back over to Bauer. Deeden to Faulkner. Then to Spindler. Caden Deaton comes to get it. Another block by Russ Polkowski.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be inside right now with Russ. He's got that look.
Yeah. Polkowski with 5 blocks tonight. Rudd, three-pointer, bounces off, no, great rebound to Ryan Nichols. 5 minutes left in the game, Colfax up by 7. Over to Schwartz. Schwartz gets it back from Nichols, and Schwartz was out of bounds. Buffaloes will bring it up. Faulkner. Faulkner out to Williamson. Over to Faulkner. Deaton up from 13, missed, and Schwartz trying to get the rebound. And they're going to say that went off Deaton. So Mondovi applying full court pressure here. Nichols and Hovde trying to break it. Hovde still deep in the backcourt. He's going to dribble his way across with everybody slapping at it. They feed it to Schwartz. Schwartz goes up, but he's fouled, misses the shot. And that is Caden Deaton's 3rd foul. That's going to send Logan Schwartz to the free throw line for a pair. 4:20 left. Colfax 39, Mondovi 32. First shot missed. Monday night, Viking boys will be at Fall Creek to take on the Crickets in a non-conference game. Coverage begins at 6:40 with Viking pregame, followed by live play-by-play here on NLWN2. Second one doesn't go either, and it's rebounded by Deaton. Williamson, Deaton, back to deal with Schwartz, up to Williamson. Deaton looks at one, goes in, and we're going to have a player control foul called on Caden Deaton. That is his 4th foul.
Yeah, more tight defense. Mondovi really wants to go inside, and Colfax is holding their own, and Logan Schwartz takes another big charge. He'll feel that one tomorrow.
Yeah. And probably a few days after that. No, that would be me if that was. Okay. Nichols and Hovde trying to break that press again into Larson. Larson's going to drive it across. Get it to Nichols, and Nichols puts it in on the left side. Colfax up by 9. Off on the right side, it goes to Williamson. To Rudd. Rebounded, Polkowski. Polkowski goes to, with a pass to Hovde. Hovde fires to Nichols. Nichols to Larson, to Aiden Fisher. Fisher with a layup on the left side.
Little run here for Colfax.
43-32, 11-point Colfax lead over Mondovi. Ball out to Williamson. Williamson up, one-headed shot, bounces out. And we're going to have a foul called on Bodie Faulkner. That's his 2nd. No, chalk that, sorry, Trey Larson. Out to Spindler. Spindler to Williamson. Down inside, picked off by Nichols. Troy Hovde, or Theo Hovde, To Trey Larson. Back to Hovde. Hovde's going to drive in, go up off the center, no good. Rebounded by Mondovi's Williamson. Down the floor, they try to fire it to Spindler. It goes out of bounds off his fingertips. Colfax will have it back. 2:25 to go, second half. Colfax 43, Mondovi 32. The Buffaloes have been held to 10 points this second half. Throwing it in for the Buffs. Faulkner into Rudd. Top of the key to Williamson. Down inside it goes to Mason Brenner, who goes up for a shot.
Foul's going to be number 3 for Colfax.
That's Trey Larson. That's his third. And that will put Mason Brenner on the line. First shot, good. Colfax lead cut to 10. Bonus on both sides now, each team with 7 fouls. Second free throw, good. And we have a timeout called on the floor. It's a full timeout. 2:16 to go, second half. Colfax 43, Mondovi 34. You're watching Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Viking girls game scheduled for tomorrow at Prescott has been canceled. The Lady Vikings in action again Friday night next week in the WIA regional semifinals against the Cumberland Beavers Clear Lake Warriors winner. At this time, NLWN TV not planning to carry that game. Long pass to the other end to Russell Polkowski. Jams it home! The other end, Williamson, he makes a three-pointer. 2 minutes to go. This is getting fun now. Nichols and Fisher in the backcourt across the timeline to Nichols. Nichols waits, goes up, off the glass, good. 1:45 left. Mondovi, three-pointer, Williamson. Colfax leads by 7. Nichols trying to get the ball out of the backcourt, being bumped on the way down. Dribbles behind his back, and the ball stolen away in the tangle by Williamson. Williamson down to Faulkner. Faulkner up from 10, good. Mondovi on a run now. 5-point Colfax lead. It's Fisher. Fisher to Nichols. 1:08 to go.
Yeah, Colfax are running a little clock. They haven't been great from the line tonight, so Mondovi's got a little advantage there.
Hovde still running clock. Gets a pass over to Orion Nichols, and he is going to be fouled as he's making the pass. So he is going to go to the free throw line. Theo Hovde for 1+1. 51 seconds to go in the ball game. Colfax 47, Mondovi 42. Larson and Nichols back on defense. Volkowski and Fisher on the free throw lane. Theo Hovde to shoot 1+1. One missed. Rebounded. Polkowski gets it over to Fisher, trying to get it to Hovde. Stolen by Rudd. Rudd down the floor, going in his Bauer. Out to Faulkner. Faulkner up and in, and is fouled. That foul is going to be on Orion Nichols, his third. Faulkner is going to go to the line for one. It is 47 Colfax, 44 Mondovi.
Yeah, Mondovi, they kind of threw in this little wrench right now with Bauer. He's been on the bench.
And the three-point play completed for the Buffaloes. And we have a timeout on the floor. 36.8 seconds to go. Full timeout. Second half. You're watching Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
47 for Colfax, 45 for Mondovi. Vikings with the ball. Back to Nichols on the Mondovi end. Over to Hovde. Hovde alley-oops it to Polkowski. Polkowski out to Fisher. Fisher back to Polkowski. Over to Nichols, and we're going to have a foul called on Bodie Faulkner of the Buffaloes. .4 seconds to go in the second. Colfax by 2. Orion Nichols on the free throw line for the Vikings. Mondovi with 9 fouls. First free throw good. 48-45. Nichols with an opportunity to make a 4-point gap here and leave Mondovi 21.4 seconds. He does. Buffaloes take it. Faulkner. Faulkner out to Rudd. Rudd for 3. No, missed. Rebounded Fisher. Fisher out to Trey Larson to Polkowski. Polkowski fouled by Blake Williamson. 10.3 seconds to go.
That should be Blake's 5th.
It is. Blake Williamson done for the night. And now Colfax in these last 10 seconds.
Blake will end up with 6 points tonight.
Has a double bonus, 2 free throws. First one by Russell. 5-point spread for Colfax. Polkowski with the second, good. And it's a 2 3-pointer lead for Colfax. Faulkner out to Spindler. Ball got loose, but we are going to have a foul on Orion Nichols. That is his 4th. That's going to send Spindler to the line for 3 free throws. Miss. 2 more to go. Colfax 51, Mondovi 45. Second free throw is good.
That was 2. I thought it was 2, but okay. He got 3.
Yeah, he got 3. And here's number 3. That one's good. So Colfax maintains a 4-point lead into Hovde. Driving it up the floor, and that is it. The Colfax Vikings defeat the Mondovi Buffaloes for the second time this season, and the scoreboard's off already, but we got it 51-47 Vikings. Vikings improved their conference mark to 8 wins and 5 losses, and they are 10-11 on the season. Mondovi falls to 1-12 in the Dunn-St. Croix, and they are 3-20 on the season. We invite you to stay tuned for Viking Postgame. That is coming your way next. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on NLWN 2.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole in any form without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network, LLC, and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jaina passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jaina Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, would find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
Welcome back. Tonight's final, Colfax 51, Mondovi 47. And we have Nick Height with us. Quite a battle.
So,
let's see. I'm going to
try now. We're good.
Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, you know, it started off kind of slow, one of those dreaded slow starts that, you know, you were trying to get away from.
Yeah, that was probably one of the worst I've seen us play in a long time, at least. You know, I really challenged the kids at halftime. You know, they just had to respond. 12 turnovers and a half. You know, we didn't even have that against Glenwood. So just really sloppy. But, you know, coming into Mondovi senior night, you know, not always the easiest place to play. But it's nice to just come away with a win.
You bet. Your team really battled, and the defense of the Vikings really blocked things up on the inside for Mondovi, where they had to go outside where they were having trouble.
Yeah, you know, I think they were stuck at 32 for quite some time. I don't know what it actually was, but they were at 32 for a long time. You know, and part of it, you know, that's why we need a shot clock in high school. I mean, they're taking minutes off of the possession, but part of it was our good defense. That was fun to kind of come back and, back to didn't shoot the free throws very well.
Yeah, and it seems like there were a couple of the guys that had a tough night shooting too, where, they'd have, decent looks, but they just would not go in.
Yeah, this is I always, even when I played, I thought this was one of the harder gyms to get a feel for. The ceiling's a little lower, it's darker. It can affect those things, but we didn't shoot the ball great. I thought our post presence and points in the paint in the second half was quite a bit, which we needed to do. So I might not sleep tonight, but it was a win.
All right, well, rest up and get ready for non-conference game on Monday, the final one against the Fall Creek Crickets.
Yeah, absolutely. So get selection show on Sunday. So I think we're going to get the guys together, watch that, and have a practice and get ready for Fall Creek. So
okay, sounds
awesome.
Great. Nick, congratulations.
Yes, thanks guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. Nick Height, head coach of the Colfax Vikings. They pick up their 10th win of the season, 8th in the conference, 51-47 over Mondovi. Details, Dan.
Yeah, here's the scores tonight for the Mondovi Buffaloes. They're led by number 3, Brody Faulkner. He had 17 points. Griffin Rudd had 5. Deacon Knetzer had 2. We had Blake Williamson with 6. We had Bo Spindler with 8. We had Mason Brennan with 4. And Caden Deeden had 5. For the Vikings tonight, they're led by number 10, Ryan Nichols. He had 14 points. We had Russell Pukowski with 10. Trey Larson had 10. We had Theo Hovde with 7. Aiden Fisher had 7. And Charlie Charbonneau had 3. 51-47, Colfax gets the win.
It was 22-20 at halftime with Mondovi leading. Colfax outscoring Mondovi in the second half, 31-25. Mondovi JVers pulled it out tonight, 49-47. Once again, Viking girls game at Prescott against the Cardinals scheduled tomorrow has been canceled. The next play for the Viking ladies will be next Friday in the regional semifinals against the winner of the Cumberland Beavers and Clear Lake Warriors. At this time, we're not planning on carrying that game. We will be with the boys Monday night at Fall Creek here on NLWN 2 as they take on the Crickets in a non-conference game. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40, followed by live play-by-play action right here on NLWN 2. For executive producer Rick Olson and our videographer Chris Olson, along with Dan Petchaw and Jay Fall, thanks a lot for joining us. Good night and have a great weekend.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.